Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. The Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Tuesday, April 1st, and I have to tell you, I do not have an April Fool's joke prepared for you today. I'm so sorry to say it. I don't know what to say. Kimberly is the April Fool's celebrity in my family.
Don't come for me.
Not me. But if you've got an April Fool's joke for us, if you've got a crypto question, if there's something that we can help you with this fine Tuesday, or if you're watching the recording or listening to the podcast somewhere in the future, then first of all, I hope things are going well there. If you've got a question for us, leave it in the comments wherever you are. Alex, actually, that's something I wanted to tell you today is I just bit the bullet and said to myself, we need to have these as podcasts. I absolutely don't need one more thing to do related to the show, but I am going to bite this thing off and somebody's got to do it and I can do it. Right after the show ended yesterday, I went to StreamYard, downloaded the thing, got the transcript, threw it into Buzzsprout, and gave it to GPT and said, what can you do with this? The transcript isn't terrible. We can't get timestamps very easily yet, but that's okay. I think I can make it work, and I do think I can automate some parts of it. So for all of our friends, check out your favorite podcast platform, be that Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, whatever they're called. We live there now. We don't have a big backlog of episodes because, I've only got so much time. But going forward, you can expect your favorite episodes will live there if you'd rather just listen to us on audio. If you don't want to catch us first thing in the morning, maybe you live on Western time, then it's a great way to listen to the show on demand. Just search the Rise Up Morning Show or Rise Up After Dark on your favorite podcasting platform, and you will find us. And then you can leave us a review. You can give us a couple of stars. You can like us. Really, really like us. And we'll hang out with you there. Will, welcome to the show. Good to see you, my friend. We're on. So that's what I got. That's what I got for our little intro this morning is we're a podcast now, officially. Fake radio show upgraded to official podcast.
Fake podcast. I think you meant to.
Yeah, fake podcast. That's right.
In the never-ending quest of why is my soundboard doing this, I have an interesting one for you.
Okay, great.
Tell me why.
So as it sits, it works just fine. But you know how there's like the little buttons at the bottom of the channel slider for each of the different like mic channels and whatever?
Oh yeah.
They're all turned off. If I turn it on, it mutes your audio, like just your voice. Like if I turn on the little green ear under channel 1, I won't be able to hear you anymore.
Let me ask you this. At the top of your board where your headphones sit, you're saying you can wait. Which button do you hear and then you can't hear me? Hit and you can't hear me? Number one?
The little green ear under number 1.
Okay, what if you hit the little green ear under the USB? Can you hear me now? Test check 1 2. Test check 1 2. That's right. Now hit the little green ear under number 1. Now hit the little green ear. Any channel where you are receiving or sending audio. Fun fact, if you ever want to start your own fake radio show and you want to use a soundboard like this, the show is not sponsored by Rodecaster, but at this point, it should be.
Mine hasn't worked. Rodecaster, fix it if you want to sponsor this shit.
I kind of think that this is like a lot of wallet incidents we see where it could be user error.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I don't know.
The interesting thing is, though, that there is no difference between me having both of those channels off or both on. Like, functionally, they work the same. I could hear you. You can all hear me. But, like, if I turn one on and one off, then it breaks it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But if both on or both off, then we're good to go. It's so weird.
Got to turn them all on. And I think it's also for headphones and recording, depending on who's doing what. But you don't have to fret about it now. I thought it would be fun now that we're all here. I'm getting you in, Will. If you've got a question, leave it in the comments. We got a couple things we wanted to talk about today. We're going to talk about the new Ethereum improvement proposal that will make it easier, better, faster, smarter for you to do all kinds of stuff with your wallets. We'll answer your questions about the market. I know people are anxious about tariffs, but actually, if it's okay with you guys, first, I wanted to share just a fun little gift with our audience for the return of our segment, artificial insanity, and I've got the bumper ready for you today so you can hear the goodness.
This is artificial insanity.
Artificial Insanity returns to the show with a cool little prompt.
What even is this? I've never been here for this.
You've never been here for Artificial Insanity. Well, let me tell you what. We used to play this game, Alex and I, Artificial Insanity, where when GPT really first became a consumer product, we'd do fun tasks and we'd make it a competition, right, Alex? We'd like roast each other with GPT or have it write a commercial for a stupid product just to kind of test the features and functionality of a new AI tool. Usually.
Goddamn.
Was that me?
No, it was the whale. I don't know
Wow.
who it was.
Was it a TikTok gift?
It was the TikTok gift. Yeah, I don't know why the
Wow,
sound
thank you. I'm so sorry. I didn't know there were sound with gifts now. Wow, I completely missed it. I feel terrible. I'll catch it on the recording. Thank you very much. Artificial Insanity, things like that. And we would just, comment on it, laugh about it, show people how to use it. And today I wanted to share one particular GPT prompt. I saw this the other day on a TikTok video, and I immediately texted it to Alex, Will, a couple of other people that I know are GPT power users, and everyone in our audience, I think, is going to be, maybe not everyone, but if this is not you, this kind of prompt reveals one of the reasons that it is worth it to get Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT and start talking to them regularly. In the future, you're going to work with an AI assistant that knows pretty much everything about you, maybe more than your most intimate partner, maybe more than you know about yourself. And this is the kind of prompt that reveals the powerful kind of synthesizing and insightful thinking that your GPT assistant will one day be able to do. Let me see if I can find mine so that I can read it to you. The prompt is, let's do a thoughtful role play. You are a world-class career strategist and advisor with full access to all my GPT interactions. Your mission is to compile an in-depth strength-based report about me as if I were a leader you've been coaching. And it has some other parameters, but that's essentially it. And I just wanted to say, I in graduate school, one of my major focuses was leadership studies. I took every assessment, read all the books, the DISC, the Enneagram, the Myers-Briggs, all of it. And this is the most thorough, relevant, and personal personality assessment I've ever had. It was a little fluffy because I asked it to be the mindset of a coach trained to recognize talent early, draw out latent brilliance, and guide high performers to meaningful careers. Like, that's the prompt. So it's a little fluffy. You could do the opposite prompt and say, like, rip me to shreds. But my God, even the way it incorporated language, it titled it The Rise of a Purpose-Driven Polymath. I don't think it would have said that for somebody else who wasn't working on the Rise Up morning show. And just all this stuff that absolutely was about me. It suggested that my job title in the future could be systems poet for a new world. I was like, of course it would. Of course it would.
No, that's pretty spot on.
But it was just cool. It was the kind of thing I would have paid, on the market, at least $250 to have a career coach sit down and give me. And certainly more if I had asked them to spend their time, like, coaching me, assessing me, whatever. My God, look at these gifts.
Oh, hell
They're fantastic. So I just wanted to share that with our audience. And I know, Alex, you had a chance to do it. Was it equally mind-blowing for you?
Yeah, it was good. It was definitely fluffy. Like, it made me blush. But that's my favorite.
People on, one of these days I would be able to stream the TikTok side so everybody on YouTube and Facebook can see what
I
the
was
hell
just
we're
as
doing.
confused as everybody on YouTube and Facebook because I was watching this screen. I wasn't looking here. Something else happened?
He got that dragon crown, that cool dragon crown.
Oh, very cool.
It's killer.
But yeah, no, it was a lot. It was very nice to read. You feel very seen. And like, one of the reasons we were talking about this is good for us is because I use it every day. Every day I talk to this thing. And the last time I was hanging out with Evan, he was basically on the phone with ChatGPT the entire time. It's like anything he would see a building, he's like, just starts talking to ChatGPT about, like, where did this building come from? Who built this building? Who conceptualized this building?
What words can I or can't I say on my fake pretend radio show?
That's right. That was a valid question. I was like, is the FCC going to get us in trouble? We do actually, for YouTube monetization, there are some parameters about, like, fun fact, we should not include a curse word in the title of our show. And we also should try not to say the F word in the first 7 seconds. Those would be good goals to strive for if we want to make money on our YouTube videos.
Well, you know what
fact.
I'm about to do within the first 7 seconds of every single show?
Fact check yourself, brother. What?
Get muted.
Yeah. Well, you know what I have to say to that, Will?
You're a loser.
I pulled some new buttons. Okay,
great.
so if we're going to have that GPT prompt in the comments for you so you can try it yourself. And if you're not a user of GPT, Claude, whatever, then I would tell you, jump in the Rise Up Discord server, or, spend some time in our community. We're here Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Everybody here is using this stuff, and it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be intimidating. Even if you're not a super pro with it, you can become a power user of AI. And what's that saying, Alex? AI won't replace people, but people who use AI will replace people. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be scary, and doesn't have to take over your life like it's taken over mine.
Introducing a new segment called Will or Evan Butcher an Alex quote.
Not just that, but Lindsay was on. She didn't get it right. I think no one remembers what you say, but they remember the ethos.
And I guess
Which is
it's the
important thing.
But
Yeah.
no, I did not come up with that quote. I can't take credit for that one. I actually don't know who came up with it. I see it all over the place. It just
Copy
says
pasta.
that AI is AI copy pasta.
I see your AI is as big as mine. It's a great Spaceballs reference, by the way. I see
Evan
your
Spaceballs
Schwartz
is
is
a
as big as mine.
Yeah. I have actually seen that movie.
Just remember, Evan, the ring is bupkis.
If I asked ChatGPT, because I didn't do it, but if I did, it'd be like, apparently you don't know the products at your own company very well. Because instead of like Google, I'm like, shit, what's that other product to do? Shit. I just go to ChatGPT and I was like, what does this product do at my company? And it's like, here it is. And I was like, oh yeah, that one. All right, cool, thanks. Because our website fucking sucks. So just be like, you really like open text, apparently. Anyway, get a life, loser. I'd be like,
You're a loser.
It is simply that AI will not replace people, but people who use AI effectively will replace people who don't.
Yeah, that's if I've ever heard one. Okay, so Alex,
Yes.
you texted this morning and said, hey, I'd like to cover EIP 7702 on the show.
Mhm.
And before we scare everybody off, why did you text us that highly jargoned technical thing? What's it got to do with our audience? And what the hell is it?
Okay. It's very technical. So
who is it?
Who is it?
Why?
Let me preface it by saying, I have a
Alex
video to
takes
make
a
today.
deep sigh.
Yeah, it's just a deep sigh. I have a video to make today. Shout out to Will for our stand-up yesterday. He was like, guys, you got to be pumping out that content. And I was like, yeah, dude, you're right. There's a video that needs to be made for a playlist I'm doing, how to learn crypto. If you want to understand cryptocurrency, then you really need to start understanding tokens. Like tokens, everybody thinks of them. Yeah, Bitcoin is a token. Yeah, ADA, Cardano, XRP, they're tokens. What's to understand, bro? NFTs? Oh, they're tokens too. But tokens are like words. You can't have a book without words. You can't have a conversation without words. You can't have an exchange of meaning with like shared sounds. There is no the letter A means this or the letters CAT mean cat without words. And there is not a single thing. I mean, I don't know, maybe a secret, an intimate moment that language doesn't make better. Makes sharing information better. It makes money better. Talking about value. It makes negotiations better. Meaning making, friendship better. I mean, it makes everything you do better. You're trying to cook a turkey. You're probably going to read some information. You're probably going to listen to someone speak some information, And tokens are like words, but they are like words at the beginning. They don't do a lot of stuff right now compared to what one day they will do. And EIP is an Ethereum improvement proposal. It is one of the ways that people are saying, hey, this thing, a token, what if it could do this? And we built a little infrastructure to make it easy for it. It'd be like if somebody one day was sitting around a campfire with other cavemen and they were like, hear me out. We've got these words. What if we wrote them down? So I didn't have to be awake to tell them to you. And someone would be like, that's genius. Let's call it writing. You know what I mean? That's like the stage we're at with tokens. Tokens will do so much. They're starting to do more. And these improvement proposals are one example of like introducing a feature that will become part of our tools language. So that's why we're talking about it today. It might get a little technical, but let it inspire you and make you curious. And Alex, I think I'm ready for it. I don't have a stiff drink, but you know, I've got coffee.
All right. Well, hold on to your coffee. So there's going to be a lot of jargon here, and I apologize, but these are good things to take notes of and write down, because I promise. Actually, here's a salt.
Do I have a suggestion? Can
Sure.
you possibly start with the layman term and then go into jargon?
To be very honest with you, no.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Wherever possible, yes, absolutely. But some of this stuff I'm just going to say to put out there so that people can like write it down and take some notes. This is a great. So I put a guide in the Discord the other day for you to build your own ChatGPT like crypto research assistant. It's the from beginning to, you know, just asking it whatever you want prompt guide, including the prompts. So you can literally just take that and copy paste the prompts that I took out of it and put it into your own ChatGPT guide and train your own research assistant. So Will, with some of this stuff, we're talking about like the elliptic curve for verification, like with ZK sync upgrades to the ETH mainnet. And like, there's just simply no term that exists that simplifies that. So we're going to talk about why this is important and why it matters. But some of this kind of stuff, you're just going to want to write down the term and then go have a conversation with ChatGPT about it and argue back and forth until you get it. Because,
But also, Will, let's you and me be prepared to take note of things that we think we can define so that when there's a pause, we can clarify.
And there's definitely some good stuff. And there's actually one of these EIPs that comes out of this that has a really good kickoff conversation for the centralization versus decentralization, because there's some controversy around it. So EIP 7702 is one proposal of, I forget exactly how many. I want to say it is like, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different EIPs, and one BLS that are going into.
Wait, what's a BLS? I don't know what a BLS is.
Guys, I understand the assignment. Just, I got to get the sentence out.
Okay.
I love you both. Just let me get the sentence out. Okay.
I'll look it up. You're good.
There are 5 EIPs and one BLS. Put a pin in those. All of these things together are making up something that you might have seen posted around on Twitter or floating around called the Pectra hard fork, which is coming up for Ethereum. It is combining 2 different things, 2 different pieces of Ethereum as a network. Prog, which is the execution layer, and Electra, which is the consensus layer. And it's marrying them in a better way. The goal is, as with most things, to improve scalability, security, and user experience. And it does that through implementing 5 EIPs, or what is it? Is it Ethereum improvement proposals?
Proposal.
And so we're going to go through each one of those, what they are, just very briefly. They're lengthy and technical, and if you're super interested, it is a really interesting read. And there's a ton in here. Like, this really drives home how intricate this shit is. So I want you to remember this conversation the next time someone tells you that such and such has really good tech, and just ask them what that means. Because I think,
and also governance.
Yeah, also governance. And also, you know, the argument about centralization and decentralization, which we'll talk about with regards to EIP 7251, which is one of the 5 that goes into this Pectra hard fork. But if I do toot my own horn just a tiny bit, and I would call myself a novice at this, honestly, I think you can count on one hand the number of influencers that dig into this kind of stuff like this, but I'm annoyingly curious. So, okay, the first one, EIP 7251, is increasing the maximum stake for validators. So, pop quiz.
Up from 30.
What is it? What is it currently?
I'm sorry. Are you asking
32.
me? 32 ETH.
Okay. So it's raising it to 2,048. Yeah. So
centralization concerns. Yes.
well, kind of, but not really.
No, because you're not given the full update. Because they're also doing something else with Pectra to make it more accessible to everyday people.
Yeah. Well, this, like I said, this is one piece. I can't say the whole thing.
Okay. Come on, man.
It's a lot here.
I thought you were just going over one EIP. I didn't know we were talking about the whole Pectra upgrade. I'm
well,
a little mad at you.
I'm a little upset.
I rugged you because it was going to be better.
Trojan horse, Evan. How dare you?
It was going to be better if you only knew a piece of it and you were kind of in the right headspace to talk about EIPs, but you were not emotionally ready for all of it. So I did bring up 7702 because I think it's fascinating and it's on brand with a lot of the stuff we've been talking about lately with kind of this theme in crypto right now of hide the wires. Because in a nutshell, 7702 is like allowing wallets to behave like temporary smart contracts. It just means wallets can do more shit more efficiently. So put a pin in that. My reaction to 7251, the max effective stake increase from 32 to 2048, was also like, oh, okay, we're just promoting centralization. But it turns out not really. We're kind of just allowing for efficiency with the big guys because right now you have effectively centralized players controlling literally thousands of 32 ETH validator nodes, which really does not improve decentralization the way that people might think it does. So like on paper, yes, the number of active nodes may go down and from what it is now, but the number of validators is going to stay relatively the same because you can still, run a node for 32. You don't have to use, all 2048. This will just allow the big guys to not have to maintain so many all at the same time, and it will improve efficiency. That's the reasoning behind it.
Okay, that makes sense, but you still dramatically raise the barrier to entry.
No, because you can still start one for 32. This is the max.
Oh.
Yeah, min is not changing. Max is
okay.
changing.
I was thinking it was minimum. Okay, all right. No. Yeah, I'm totally on board now. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Really quickly, I am going to share throughout this broadcast a couple of things on screen, resources that'll help. But we're going to put these in the Discord, and I'm going to put them not in the YouTube description or the podcast description. You got to come to the Discord to get the resources. I'm so sorry to say, but if you this should be, we got to reframe the conversation to understanding the Pectra upgrade. I think, Alex.
Yes,
just because now that's where we're going. Ethereum goes through these upgrades. Like it's not just token standards. It's like changing the highway. You know how they're always doing construction on your roads in the summertime and the wintertime. They're doing things. That's what Ethereum is doing all the time, but at lightning speed. It's like going from gravel roads to a highway and then going from a highway to spaceships all the time. And the Pectra upgrade is the biggest upgrade they've had in a minute. And so it's a lot of different proposals, and it's going to, I think, be an important part of the debate we're having right now. Is Ethereum relevant? Is Ethereum going to scale? Is it going to do something? This is kind of what people are looking to answer this question in the short term. So I would say that's the context. Please continue, and I will support you with screen shares. I got you.
Okay. Yes, and to be fair, we don't have to go through every single one of these. There's a couple, like I said, kind of key points that I think are worth highlighting. And then I am going to turn this into a PDF just to give out for free. It's as like a study guide for this, just because if you can get through this topic, you're going to be more informed about the technical side of all of this kind of stuff than the vast majority of people. And Cash McQuack, I'm going to call you out because if I would love to see if you can back that up with anything. And maybe you know more than me, in which case I would love to know why you say that.
Alex, I love you, but nobody on the podcast has any idea who Cash McQuack is, and we're a little worried that you made him up.
Well, the comment is just ETH is kind of like toilet paper, and I want to either hear the punchline or the reasoning. Okay, so Evan, your list right there, and my first 5 here are definitely not all of the EIPs inside of Pectra. There's actually 11.
Yeah,
but some of these things are super, super tiny and specific, right? Like not all EIPs are created equal. But anyway, moving on. The BLS is the new cryptographic curve. So that's one piece of it. If you wanted to look up some terms, the really hefty ones to learn with this one would probably be actually, Evan, here's a chance to pick out some words that are just funny, but that are like technical Ethereum terms, and I know you've seen some of these. So we've got snarks, specifically
It's always a classic.
zero knowledge snarks. Another one of these EIPs also has to do with improving blob throughput. And yes, blob is a technical term.
You gonna make it over there?
I just love reading hyper technical documents and seeing someone unironically say the word blob like 88 times. Also in the ZK snarks.
Somewhere, Vitalik Buterin is smiling and giggling while wearing like a Pikachu hat that you can pull and makes like Pikachu's ears do this.
It just always makes me think like back in the day when Deadmau5 was first dropping, mixes and records and albums and stuff. And he notoriously hated naming songs. So he would just like pick random shit to, like, literally it'd be like, here's one. And then the next song would be called Another One. And then Ghosts and stuff. And here's some cheese and shit like that. And that's how I feel when I look at crypto terms. Like, what do we call the big Litecoin scalability upgrade? I don't know. Mimblewimble.
That one really rolls off the tongue.
It does.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Okay, so Evan, let's do the one that I actually did preview for you and you wrote up, just because I think this is really interesting. And this one will actually improve the user experience quite significantly as we talk about one of the reasons that people use third-party software to interact with networks like Ethereum, just because the back and forth of verifying transactions and clicking here and clicking there and in and out of this and confirming here and doing this and blah, 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 the back and forth can be tedious. Like the number of clicks to execute a basic transaction at the raw level with no medium is not the fastest, most simple user experience ever. And the whole point of one of these EIPs, 7702, is kind of coined temporary smart contract wallets. So did you look up a couple little things about it?
Yeah, I'm set to have a discussion about it and contextualize it. But do you want to give the overview, or would you like me to?
So in a tiny nutshell, basically what this
Very
does,
tiny.
and I'm going to give you another term to be aware of. EOA, an acronym for, was it external operator account?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
God, nice job.
Nailed
I was
it.
looking for my ding, but you're too fast.
So that's basically the fancy term for regular wallet. Okay, so this allows regular wallets, also known more technically as EOAs, to act like a smart contract during the transaction, but without permanently rewriting or changing things. So as you need your wallet to do something, this EIP allows it to do that more efficiently and effectively and more simply, and then go back to its like normal state afterwards.
It technically turns your wallet into a smart contract,
Yes.
giving it all kinds of permissions, like the ability to spend any token on gas. A lot of people say like, oh,
Yeah,
I was
that'd be
trying to
cool.
send USDC, but I forgot I need to have ETH in my wallet. Well, this proposal would mean that you could use any token, or you could
That's
do
nice,
any kind of
'cause-
thing just for one transaction that a smart contract could. Sorry, Will, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've been waiting for that.
Dude,
Yeah.
Mhm.
game changer.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah, you really save like an extra annoying step. Like, all right, cool. I've set up this wallet for the first. Oh, and now I need 2 tokens to do the thing.
Mhm. Yeah, so it just basically in a tiny nutshell, this is going to enable enhanced, better wallet functionality, and this is important, especially as we come into not just the personal user experience conversation, but also multi-sig operation, which is a security feature wherein you can require that multiple wallets sign a transaction before being able to execute it, so that, for example, if all 3 of us launched some sort of project and we didn't want just me to be in charge of the keys, we could create a multi-sig, multiple signature account, wherein in order to move the treasury funds, all 3 of us, or 2 out of 3 of us, for example, kind of depends how you want to set it up, would be required. Goods and bads, right? Because, for example, once you give someone keys to a wallet, it's very hard, nearly impossible to guarantee that they no longer have them if you don't want them to. And I won't name names because I will get in trouble, but there is a particular, for example, network that I've worked with in the past who has a questionable fellow on the team, and he is one of the multi-sig key holders, and everyone wishes that he wasn't there anymore, but he is, because he has one of those multi-sig keys, and he's needed, and that is an oversight or a problem, and it's tough to mitigate, especially this was years ago, so it's I'm sure there's something that can be done, but at the time it was not so easy, so they just kind of had to deal with it. I don't really know, so multi-sig, one, account abstraction, kind of one of the things we're talking about, this theme in crypto now of hide the wires. Like, okay, we've got a bunch of tools, there's a shitload of tokens. None of these are really solving problems for day-to-day people. If you want people to be able to use the tech for something, it's got to be a better experience, because who's got the time to sit here and do all of this? Not everyone. Some people, but not everyone. And you're not going to onboard 1 billion users with a terrible user experience. So it's important there. And then the goal here, obviously, is also to not sacrifice backwards compatibility. We don't want to negate a bunch of stuff that happened earlier. We don't want previously built things to no longer be relevant or applicable. Think about it like a video game console. Yes, we want to upgrade to the newest, latest, and greatest PlayStation, but we also really like playing our old games, and we don't want to have to maintain 2 consoles. So it just takes it's a little bit more challenging to build that kind of thing. But that's EIP 7702 in a nutshell.
Okay, so a lot of niceties to life from a wallet user standpoint, expansion. So a lot of niceties and qualities of life for large stakers and validators, which is good. So just making things more efficient, and that was about.
Makes your wallet smarter.
I think you can just kind of sum it up like that. Yeah.
I would say it makes your wallet smarter.
And your wallet can now process and do more things from a smart contract ability standpoint.
Yeah. Makes your wallet smarter. One of my favorite EIPs was 6551, which was NFTs as wallets. So that one makes your tokens smarter. All of a sudden you can have an NFT that maybe is like a character in a game you play, or like an account in your video game, and now it can own other digital assets. Like if you get a sword for beating a boss, or your level is represented by a token, that NFT can hold those tokens, and it'd be easy for me to approach Alex and say, hey, I play this game, look at all my tokens, they're in my profile, the way he might click through a file folder, or look at another player's profile on, I don't know, whatever, Xbox Live. We're getting to that step. One of the reasons that tokens haven't been a good solution for that is we just don't have the rails for it. We don't have the roads built yet. And so people are building the roads, they're building the cars, and we're just along for the ride, I guess. So, good talk, good segment. A
couple other little terms that you can look up that will be.
I was going to say wrap this up for me with the end of the where I go from here, because my brain's a little soft.
Where you go from here would be taking your research assistant and just basically telling it hey, I am interested in understanding the upcoming Ethereum Pectra hard fork.
Yep.
And right now it's too technical for me, and I'm trying to break it down and understand it. I know there are, and the bigger and better your prompt is when asking the question, the better your answer is going to be. So, I would say I know that there are 11 EIPs included in this hard fork, and I know that they have to do with a whole bunch of very specific technical pieces of the Ethereum network. And I'm just trying to simplify it and understand why it's important, first of all. And it'll give you an overview of why this matters. And then it's probably going to list a bunch of terms that maybe you don't see. For example, another one of the EIPs in there is 7691, the one that increases blob throughput. What the ever-loving hell does that mean? And as soon as I start reading about it, you're like, oh, okay. Well, this is optimizing the data format dropped in 4844, which is proto-dank sharding. Is any of this even real life? And just kind of chase those things down individual little rabbit holes, and it's literally never ending. And if you're watching this still, I would hope that you're interested in it, but it's fascinating how intricate and how incredible really this piece of technology. Like the reason that we are excited about Ethereum is because of stuff like this. I mean, the amount of way that has been paved for every other network by Ethereum existing and doing all the things cannot be overstated. It's a great first assignment to enrich your understanding of this tech and also to get better at using the research assistant. Because I mean, I use mine every day. I talk to it all the time. I talked to it for 2 hours last night to prepare to talk about this because I kind of had some vague ideas, but I didn't know what all of the EIP numbers were, all that sort of stuff. And the reason Evan, I had sent you that one was just because that one is the most interesting one to me. I think it's one of the biggest deals, especially from the everyday user perspective. A lot of the other ones you're not really necessarily going to notice. They're just going to kind of continuously improve stuff, or if you're on the validator side. But then, of course, you know, why is 7702 getting press right now? Because it was proposed last year in May because of Pectra is coming up. So, you know, just kind of one thing always leads to
when's the vote on it if it was proposed?
It's ongoing. EIPs are like
end?
now open for voting. I don't know when the period ends, but I think Pectra is coming up.
Let me go ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, Pectra. I'm trying to grab the date for Pectra's implementation. I don't have it handy.
I just wanted to let folks know the other thing to do is you're asking GPTs. Don't forget to ask on like a social search. And do take what you find in socials with a grain of salt. But like, here's a really cute little post I found on Twitter from a guy called Nyrolf who does these, bro, what is? Like, that's his series. And he draws these cute little stick figures discovering like, bro, what is EIP 7702? And he explains it very simply. Just making the user experience better, bro. And he'll give a couple examples. And you can read it in about 2 minutes. And the cool thing about this is you can usually have like a chat and chew with the people in the comments. Maybe Vitalik will show up and you can hear him talk about why he added this or whatever. Just a more dimensional experience. And of course, my very favorite source for all things crypto is the Unchained podcast. Shout out Laura Shin. She had a fantastic interview with Alex Stokes and Barnabé Monod. These are two core contributors to the Ethereum Foundation. They lead research over there and they went through the whole thing. And it is a sprawling episode, but it's helpful if you want to get in the weeds and you want to like know, okay, who are two really good sources of information? Well, you know, these guys are literally under the hood every day. So you get a good conversation, you get a good resource to follow up with and add to like your Rolodex in the future so that if you're at the Ethereum conference someday and you see that Barnabé Monod is going to be on stage, you can be like, hey, Barnabé, thanks, man. You helped me understand the Pectra upgrade. And now you got another new friend in crypto. That's the whole goal.
Also, regarding timing of when this voting will be done, so there's no exact set date, it's just soon. But Pectra upgrade was expected initially to be live late 2024, early 2025. We are still in early 2025. It was last tested March 5th. That's the Pectra upgrade. This EIP 7702 upgrade is a part of that. And it is expected to happen soon, sometime soon.
Yeah, it said first quarter, but obviously these things get
they always get pushed back at least 1 quarter, usually multiple.
Usually, if we get it this year, that'll be cool. But you know, this is one of those things. It's a really big deal to implement, and it's not like can someone just you know relaunch and update my web browser. The analogy is like this is on par with like changing car parts while the car is driving 100 miles an hour down the freeway.
You know what everybody really wants to know? Really what they want to know about Ethereum in context of this conversation?
Yes.
Number go up.
Is it too late to get in?
Yeah, is now a good time to buy?
And
Yes, now is a good time to buy.
It's the perfect time
It's
to
the
buy.
perfect time to buy. I'm so
I had
glad
you,
got
man.
that.
I had some fun updating the soundboard the other day.
I mean, it seems like.
That's all I got for now.
Hey there, Normans.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love that video so much.
I know.
I love it so much.
Absolute banger. We came out of retirement for one single production, and then we all quickly receded back into.
I can't wait to make another one. I got to get you guys up to Maine.
One of the comments on that video was, I swear to God, you guys better not never do this again. And I was like, spoiler alert.
No, seriously, I got to get you guys up to Maine. You guys should come up in the spring or summertime.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah. Prepare
On
my
the
couch.
books. Now, if your brain is soft like mine after that segment,
there
let
are
me just
several
say,
beds. You'll be fine.
Several beds. Let me just say, don't fret, don't sweat. If you've posted a crypto question in the comments, I've been watching. We do have a couple of good rapid fire questions, but if you haven't asked your question, you've been waiting, now is the perfect time. Drop it in the comments or jump in the Rise Up Discord server and leave your character unlimited or higher limited question there. It's totally free. We'd love to see you. The only thing missing is you. I posted the GPT prompt there if you want to get a head start. When Moon, someday I'll ask the 8-ball. We had a question about Coinbase futures. Do either of you guys use Coinbase futures through Coinbase Advanced, I believe?
I never have, but I'm signed up for it. The only thing I've ever done perpetuals trading is longing and shorting, is over on Drift on Solana, where you can have not just 100x leverage, but 100 in 1x leverage. Oh. I've never used leverage, by the way. Actually, no, that's a lie. I used 2x leverage one time. But no, so like I'm signed up for it. So if you want to use do futures trading on Coinbase, you have to sign up to get approved to do it. Typically, they only approve people if you have a history of like a certain amount of money, but it's not like an astronomically large amount of money, but it is bigger than, most people typically have. But, but you can go through the process, and maybe they lowered it since the last time I did it.
Yeah, and I would say there are a lot of places you can go depending on how much you want to trade, what kind of trades you want to make, what markets you want to trade. You might consider, for exchanges, Binance, you might consider MEXC, a lot of people use, but it's a real problem in our space. I'm becoming more acquainted with that we don't have a lot of good decentralized options for people who want to trade perpetuals. The best one that exists now that I'm aware of is Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid.xyz. Somebody fact check me on that. If you just search Hyperliquid protocol, you'll be able to find it pretty easily. And most of the activity there, it's on the Arbitrum network. DYDX is another perpetuals exchange. And I actually just heard one on the Dragonfly Telegram job board. They posted a job for a perp exchange called, get this one, Purple, but spelled like PERPL. Purple. Isn't that cute? I hope their branding is fantastic because I would use the hell out of a perp exchange called Purple. I'm bullish. We had a question about staking Ethereum on Coinbase, and then another question about, okay, so what about Solana? So just the short answer is you can stake Ethereum lots of different places. We talked yesterday about staking. We went through a whole tutorial about how to use Marinade to stake.
Wait, hold on a second.
Soul.
Before we go further, because I saw that comment from Mike, and I was like, oh, wait, shit, I did see some, like, bad shit about Hyperliquid.
What did it say? What the comment said?
It was like very highly centralized stuff.
It's the jelly stuff.
Comment.
Yeah, it's the jelly
their
thing.
hand, not as decentralized as we all thought. So like, and I meant to dive into that, but like my life just took me down a different route, and I was not able to dive into it. So did you guys have a chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to give him the TL?
I was just going to say, Mike, I don't know if you're in a position to hop up, but you're more than welcome to if you want to come up and talk about it. Because I feel like we might disagree on this one a little bit, but I would not call myself as educated as you are about the finer points in the minutia. So I'd be curious to hear why you say that. Because my impression, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you can't. So he can't today. Do your best. That's in fine. The comments, and
I'll pretend to be Mike, and you can talk with me because I know the details of it pretty well.
Yeah.
Thanks
so
again,
essentially, I'll nutshell it. Do you think it makes more sense for you to give the technical first?
Let me give the technical, and you tell me what you thought is. So Hyperliquid, for people, we just talked, it's a decentralized perpetuals exchange.
Right.
There's nobody going to KYC you. You can kind of do whatever you want. It's the Wild West. Somebody, a whale, opened 2 positions on a token called Jelly Jelly, sort of an obsolete meme token. It had its up, had its down. Nobody was really trading it. And they opened a long position and a short position in such a way that one of their positions easily got liquidated. It was, I believe, their short position. And then they started artificially pumping the price of Jelly because it was mostly a dead token, because they were a whale, because they could do that in such a way that Hyperliquid was going to owe them more and more and more money the longer they kept this trade open and the longer the price went up. It's sort of like a, unlimited upside bet with a ceiling that's as high as you can push the price. So if you've got deep pockets and this is a low cap meme coin, you can just keep buying this token. And then because you're trading with leverage on the other side,
you're making
big money. The higher you push the token, even though you're spending more, you're making more at Hyperliquid's expense. And the Hyperliquid validators threw a vote. It was like a 2-hour vote. It was, not any announcement window, not much of an approval window, probably a lot of inside group chat stuff. And they basically agreed to reset the ledger, their ledger, and pay out this order, close out this order at the price of Jelly token before the guy made his bets. So not only did they zero out the trade, but they actually kind of gave themselves some extra money on top, is the effective outcome of this. And the reason people are upset is because Hyperliquid is supposed to be a decentralized exchange where, presumably the users are the ones who would make a call like that. But in this instance, Hyperliquid, even though they would have been solvent after this trade, they basically just said, like, no, we're not going to allow this. And one interesting point to note is that they have refused to do this at other times when it might have benefited more people, in the event of like hacks, thefts, things like that. They've said, no, we're not going to step in. We're not going to intervene. But when it's like their checkbook on the line, they say, whoa, wait a second. And there's not necessarily an indication that they liked doing this, that they want to do this more often. But the fact that they did and that they can raises a lot of red flags for people who choose to use them because it's a decentralized. How decentralized are you really if you're just going to step in and play market maker like that?
Yeah.
King.
Okay. I got you. That, and also it's like you set up this system and this guy found a way to, make a bunch of money. I'd be like, damn, dude, you got us. Here's your money. And now wall shut down.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we can change this rule going forward if we want to as a protocol, but it was fair. You played by the rules.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't like that either, but Hyperliquid will be just fine so long as it continues to offer liquidity and good user interface and all that stuff.
Yeah, and they're well
because
funded.
people don't really care about centralization.
No,
not really.
For me, the annoying or the bummer of the whole thing was, Evan, as you explained, the situational implementation of this power, not the fact that it was like, I don't know that I was personally never under the impression that like something like this wasn't possible if they decided to. And this is kind of one of those pieces that comes into the debate about what is centralization versus decentralization. What does that mean? And, we always say it's a spectrum. There's nothing is completely decentralized. Nothing, I would say the only thing that, well, actually, I don't know. That would be an interesting thought experiment. Like, could something be 100% completely centralized too? Like, is it a weird spectrum wherein you can be in the extreme on one side, but you are just like ever questing towards the other end of the spectrum? That could be an interesting thought experiment, because I don't know if I would have a quick answer to that.
I actually would argue it's limit
I'm not happy
zero.
about it. It's just,
I don't think you can ever be 100%
I lost your
one way or
sound.
the other.
Oh, it's my fault. No, it's your fault. You're muted.
Test check 1 2. Test check 1 2.
Yeah, you're good. You're fine. I've been able to hear everyone. Hey, okay. Alex.
Test check 1 2.
How did I lose both of you?
Oh,
I didn't
no.
Oh, man.
Oh, no. This is going to be so hard.
His soundboard just exploded.
Hang on, let me do this. I'm going to send him a comment on the YouTube. Tap the little green button.
Press the green button.
We're using the comments in
Alex,
YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn land for.
Shit.
Yeah, well, Keith says they can hear all of us in TikTok. Alex,
how about now?
Take the cartridge out,
Test check.
blow into it, plug it back in, and then do the
well,
Macarena.
Yeah.
That's how I got the N64 to work every time.
Okay. Oh my God. Well, Will, do you want to make fun of Alex while he can't hear us?
No, because I'm a nice person, Evan.
Wow.
This is a gross misrepresentation of the fact.
Fortunately, I have him on the soundboard.
All right, fine. He looks like a weird gremlin with just a mustache. I don't like the pictures of him in his youth with a mustache. Oh, he's gone. Okay, now it's less funny.
Well, he's just on TikTok here.
I don't know. I was trying to grab something.
Okay, so while we reset the room, let me just remind everybody, it's tax time. And one of the things that we are getting a lot of feedback on is that people are really struggling with their taxes this year as it comes to crypto taxes. So I wanted to survey the room. Guys, I've been thinking about holding an emergency live class this weekend for Coinly, CoinTracker, CoinLedger. I use Coinly. We've all used Coinly, but I just feel like people need a little like moral support and hand holding. And I'm kind of thinking, if that's you, if you're like me and like you haven't done your taxes yet and you're dreading it, would you like me to throw up a live class? We can do it as a group together, maybe 15, 20 slots or something like that based on demand, and walk you through it, because it is not fun, but it doesn't have to be hard. Does Coinly work with TurboTax? Yes, they all do. They all generate reports for you. The way it works is you connect your wallets, your exchanges, these softwares that people are building for crypto, and then you go through your transaction history. That's the onerous part. You start at the beginning. You kind of say, oh, what was my cost basis for this? Did they get it right? And it jogs your memory as you go. And then you click done, submit your report, upload it into TurboTax, and then you go have a beer and say, I can't wait to not do this again until next year. Looks like a lot of yes. I don't know. I think I'm going to do it, guys. Have you guys done your taxes yet?
No, I see my accountant on Wednesday.
I do my taxes in October. You should
next October. Yeah, the extension. Yeah, me too. Usually.
text Angel. I bet he would help.
I bet he would too. I'm thinking I'm gonna rally him. I'm gonna maybe rally Jessica, our friend, who is also pretty brilliant and hangs out in the Discord, and just we can do it together. Can you import a CSV file? Yes.
Hey guys, this is the first year since I've owned my LLC. Shouldn't I be doing my taxes quarterly?
I have no idea. I have
because I hear that it's like if you have your own business, you should do your taxes quarterly. And I was like, I was just going to do it on the year, but
someone who knows more than me should correct me. I think that is dependent on income.
Submitting payments quarterly based on what you estimate you will owe, I think, is what I have heard most. I have not heard anybody
I'll look
does
into it
them
more.
Quarterly.
I'll look into it. I have time today to do taxes, which I have to, and then go and see my accountant tomorrow.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin up a little class so that you can attend live or get the recording, and we can keep talking about it. I'll open a thread in the Rise Up Discord server. This is going to be available later today at the riseupmorningshow.com. Usually I like to post it and then tell you about it, but I'm just telling you about it. Be on the lookout for it. Write that down, the riseupmorningshow.com. I'll probably call it like tax prep, getting taxes right, whatever.
Quarterly fine. Okay. A lot of helpful comments in the TikTok, so appreciate it, everybody.
Yeah, you guys rock. Absolutely.
Well, I rugged you guys with Hyperliquid. What were we about to go into before that?
I think we were I said something about answering questions for people. Ethereum versus Solana. We had some folks say, like, what's going on with Solana? And then somebody asked about ETH staking, and I was just making a commercial to say that yesterday we did a staking tutorial with Marinade, and the easy way to apply what you learned yesterday to Ethereum is to maybe go on DeFi Prime, which Alex showed us, look up staking for the Ethereum network, and just go through the different provider websites there. You'll probably see Lido, you'll probably see Rocket Pool, and then find one that's got an APY you like. If you have questions or you're like, I don't understand this, I'm having a hard time evaluating, that's a great way to use the Discord or come back to the show. Let us know. Hey, checked out Lido, checked out this, checked out that. Where are you guys staking? Or what do you think is the best play? I don't know if you have any other thoughts or considerations you'd add to that, gentlemen, in terms of when you evaluate a staking provider.
I mean, liquidity, length of time it's existed. But the pretty much thing I want to look for is there money in it, and what's the history? Has it been hacked before, and how long has it been around? Because that's the big thing I'm worried about. The big thing I'm worried about is how secure it is.
Yeah, Yeah, and Will mentions liquidity because that's a big measure of security. How many dollars you got on hand is a I wouldn't say it's a perfect proxy, but it's a good place to start. Is this secure?
It's the good first smell test, if you will.
Yeah.
If there's money there, then probably it's hopefully safe, and then create a short list of those that have
hopefully safe,
and then you dive in to do a little bit more research.
I feel like there's how when you go to the supermarket, there's like grade A, choice, select, prime. I feel like we need something like that for crypto, and I feel like hopefully safe is on there, and it's not even like the worst option. It's probably like
hopefully safe is like the second best.
Not a rug.
Yeah, actually, just number one is hopefully safe.
Yeah, number one is hopefully safe.
Number one is hopefully safe.
Okay. Solana. Who wants to address this? What's going on with Solana? Do we have an update on Solana? I feel
it
like
exists. It is working. There you go.
Big topic. Yeah.
They recovered from their commercial mostly.
Well, by pretending it didn't happen. And then
honestly, that's like the best. That's like the best. That's like the best approach. Exactly, because everyone will just forget.
Yeah, literally delete it from the timeline, pretend it didn't happen, give it an hour, and everyone forgot. That's it.
Whoops.
Silly.
Yeah. Super lame. Could have handled that a lot better. A little disappointing the way that all went down. But hey, say la vie. Overall, I mean, the network is fine. They're killing it. They're still top of the charts in terms of on-chain app revenue. No one else is really super close. Let's get curious to get today's numbers. I haven't looked in a couple days. Any guesses?
3 million. 3.2 million.
Will?
For what?
2.8 million. 2.8 million. That's my revised guess. Final answer. For revenue daily Solana, last 24 hours.
On-chain app revenue for the last 24 hours.
Give us your numbers.
I'm going to go with 1.8 million.
Wow.
Okay.
Are we playing Price is Right rules where if you're over, you're done? Somebody going to guess 99 cents?
Yes.
Yes. Price is Right rules always apply when guessing numbers. And final question, who is higher in the last 24 hours, ETH or Solana?
Solana.
For revenue?
Mm-hmm.
Solana.
For revenue, you think he was talking about like weed?
No, like TVL or something, There are obvious answers. All right. Just want to clarify. Jeez.
All right.
Hey, some.
Well, you were both short on app revenue. Evan, you moved in the wrong direction with your guess. The actual answer is $3.84 million in the last 4 hours.
Damn.
But I still won, right?
You did still win. Let's see who's leading the pack.
And who was higher?
Solana by a lot.
Yeah.
By over $1.5 million.
That's why, if Solana can just man, if we really are about to, be in a air quotes recession, economic downturn, of some type, or Wall Street keeps melting, Bitcoin, crypto keeps going down. There's a lot of me that's like, yeah, I should really take this money that I have and really put it mostly into Bitcoin. But I'm just like, man, if Solana keeps just getting beat up to hell, maybe I buy way more Solana than I'm planning on.
These are the metrics to keep your eye on, as market situations fluctuate and prices continue to be sketch at best. Keep your eye on the revenue because the prices of everything have been going down. But Solana's on-chain revenue is often maintaining or increasing. Same with Ethereum. Both of those on-chain revenues are up from last week. The last time I looked at it, both of those numbers were lower than they are right now.
Yeah, it's nuts. And the other thing
really
too
tells you a lot.
One thing I've been thinking about is actually the amount of money that BlackRock with Biddle can be putting into these chains, because BlackRock's working with 7 different solutions right now. You have Polygon, Optimism, and Arbitrum on ETH. You have Solana, and then you have a couple others, 2 other ones, and I forget what they are. Apologies. But
also not off the top of my head.
Yeah, but there's a lot of money in those money market funds that BlackRock is experimenting with on all these different chains. That's a lot of TVL added onto these chains. Just you're gonna see some good fundamental strength show up in still the Ethereum ecosystem and Solana. Ethereum specifically within the layer 2s, because like why in God's name would they use ETH mainnet? You know, that's one thing that when people are like ETH is dog water, I'm like, mainnet is not usable for 99% of people. So yeah, but like you have a plethora of solutions that make it fast and cheap and easy. So it's like, so what are we talking about here?
I also feel like the only two kinds of people and I'm going to make a generalization, and maybe this is a hot take, but in generally the only people that I ever see really like dying on that hill or trying to die on that hill that it's unusable, don't ever use anything. And
just want, and they own like something else, like a ICP or Solana or
I mean the overwhelming majority of people are investors, not users, and that's fine. If you're an investor,
that is fine.
Totally fine. I would never.
That's me more so. Yeah. I'm by far and away more so an investor.
Yeah, and I'm generally not that great at investing. I'm a diehard user. But often I find that the people repeatedly trying to tell me that it's unusable are not users. They are bag holders for a competitor, and they're upset.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I feel like a lot of people overlook too, you know, the L2s is hugely important, but the L2s inherit the security and the decentralization of the L1. The way a building you build in New York City gets all the qualities of the neighborhood it's erected in. It gets, you know, the benefits of being in the jurisdiction of New York City. The way a layer 2 has the benefits of being on top of Ethereum. And one of the biggest benefits is we just talked about liquidity as like a signal of security.
And my God, does it have a lot of liquidity? Holy shit.
And I mean market cap and also TVL. And I mean, by every metric, if you wanted to hack the Ethereum network, you would need to commit hundreds of billions of dollars of capital to even have like a chance, to have the resources necessary to try and attack that network. It is more than any other network except Bitcoin in that regard. And it is arguably by some measures more decentralized. I don't want to get into it now, but I just, you know, want to point out to people, for somebody like BlackRock who could just go build their own blockchain, that is something that's really, really hard to replicate. And it's easy to build an L2 on top of it like Sony did and just say, this is our private chain. Thank you very much. Nice to be on Ethereum. You know, that kind of thing. XRP doesn't have that. ICP doesn't have that. Nobody has that. ETH has that. Guys, we had a question here that I'd actually like to divert to because we get it a lot. And I just want to have these answers in the back pocket a little more about tokenizing a house. A lot of people are really interested in tokenizing their house. Can we take a very quick detour into this?
Sure, but that's gonna be the Alex show. You know far more about that than I do. I know of a few cool examples, but that's it.
Do you know the simple steps, Alex, or can I give them this quick process and then ask for your feedback on it?
Yeah.
Okay, if I was going to tokenize my house and it was like an Amazing Race style contest and I had to do it fast, the number one thing, first thing, got to set up an LLC. You got options here. If you want to tokenize it, like fractionalize it, you might consider a Wyoming DAO LLC. And I will caveat this by saying this is totally biased towards people who live in the US. I have absolutely no skills or experience outside the US, so I can't speak to that. Sorry about it. You could set up through KaliGG or through otoko.io, a Wyoming DAO LLC for about $150 in a couple of minutes. This LLC will hold the title to your house, okay? It's got to be legally owned by the LLC before you tokenize it. Otherwise, all this stuff won't work. So you can transfer it with a quitclaim deed or a warranty deed that moves it from your ownership or whoever's ownership to the LLC. You file it with your county recorder's office, wherever the house is. And then you're going to tokenize it using something like Third Web, Manifold, or go back to Kali. Kali is a great all-in-one solution, KALI.GG. And that's specifically if you want to tokenize it, fractionalize it. These solutions are going to give you the smart contract that you are going to link to the deed of the house. You're going to say this is a representation of that. You know, the deed itself is a representation of ownership, but you will want a token standard that reflects the agreement. If you want to own the house as like a sole owner, you can use an ERC 721. It's one person, one token. If you want to do like a mini REIT, or you want to do a DAO, or, fractionalized ownership, then you're going to want to do ERC20 tokens, where there are many tokens and each of them represents a share of the ownership of the house. All this can be managed through Kali. And then I would invite you to check out the people at like LexDAO. They have worked with Cougar DAO that has a long history of doing this, and give you some legal guidance for on-chain assets, because the Rise Up Morning Show can get you started, but we're not lawyers. And I would definitely encourage you to talk to the experts that we know instead of but you could do that, I don't know, in a week, if you've got a lawyer who really likes you and is willing to meet with you quickly, and your city or your county goes fast. Are there any things that I missed or that you would think about? I've never tokenized the house. You've never tokenized the house, Alex, but I don't know. I feel like I don't have recommendations one way or the other. It's very personal why somebody would choose to do it. But other thoughts, pitfalls, things to avoid?
I mean, I think, and again, you know more about this than I do. My impression thus far has just been, until there's more acceptance, it's kind of hokey. It's kind of a gimmick. I don't think it really does anything for anybody right now.
Well, but you might, okay, so what if you did this? Let me give the real quick case that you got my LLC, transfer the house to the LLC, and I've got 1 million home tokens that I mint. Sure. It's an ERC20. And I'm going to sell 10% to people I know to raise cash for repairs, and then keep 90% ownership, but maybe sell token holders rights to vote in the DAO and say, okay, we've renovated this house, and what do we want to do with it? Like, that would be maybe a little complicated, but I feel like that would be a viable way for somebody who already knows maybe like how to flip houses to get it faster, better, or like less risky because they're using someone else's money.
Just another way to open up capital.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, that doesn't seem too hokey to me. And you could do that.
You definitely do need to own 100% of the house, though.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have a mortgage.
Yeah. Oh, totally. No, this is not going to work with a mortgage, I would say.
Yeah.
But maybe it'd be a way to get around a mortgage. You're going to sell tokens.
Hey, bank, would you like to, can we tokenize this property?
No. Walking into the meeting as high as Solana, like, guys, listen.
Listen, we're going to fucking tokenize this shit. We're going to put it on the blockchain. They'll just be like, get out of here.
I should say, I think it's a little bit gimmicky right now, but I don't think it hurts anything. And I think that it could be, and probably will be, so much more impactful in the near future.
Do you guys want me to make a PDF guide out of this, Alex?
I think that would be good. Yeah. Yeah.
How to tokenize your house.
Just because some of the points that have come up here in the chat, just about, using it to raise money, beneficial when legacy planning or planning a trust. All of these things, I think, are pieces of the conversation into like, why would you do it? Because at its core, what's a token? Right? A token makes data more secure. It makes information more secure. It makes digital property more secure. And as the world becomes ever digitized, it makes sense that more and more and more of that kind of stuff would need to become tokenized in order to continually keep up with the increasing demand for forever heightening online security. Just because, I mean, attackers get better every year. They get sneakier every year. I mean, how many times do we run into scam attempts? It's a constant barrage. So I think it's inevitable, personally. And I think that if you have a vehicle to, pursue something like that, it's definitely worth learning about. I'm interested in it for sure. Like you said, Will, there's all sorts of, various regulatory constraints that apply to it now. Who owns what? If you are paying down a mortgage and you maybe really own a tiny percentage of it, then the bank would have to be majority holder in those tokens and like allocate them to you as you make mortgage payments or something like that. But like, would they? Maybe not right now. Or sure. Could you use a token structure to allow giant nonprofits to help people free themselves from the shackles of like bank ownership on their homes that they've been in for forever and are underwater because of interest payments and all these different things? Totally, 100%. Like, that's another conversation that would be that I think we need to have, just because, as I keep saying, in a world where fewer and fewer people are owning more and more and more stuff, decentralizing it is the answer. Whether we're talking about finances or property or whatever, decentralizing it is the answer. That's how you fight it.
Yep. Hey guys, I have to take my dog and pony off into the sunset a little early.
All right.
Oh, do you? Well, hang on. I need you to give me a final thought before you ride your dog and pony into the sunset. You like that?
My final thought is that your updated soundboard is truly a work of art.
Dude, every time the soundboard gets a hard fork, it's a good day.
Every time it gets a hard fork, it's like the opposite of Bitcoin hard forks. With a hard fork,
Soundboard improvement proposals to add. You're a loser.
SPBs. You're a loser.
You're a loser.
It's so good. I'm gonna go back and watch that video again. I think I saved it, put it in like my personal cloud storage because I was like, I need this forever. I don't know. Well, this is the big tariffs week. You know, it's not April 2nd. Tomorrow is Liberation Day, which means tariffs. But it means that, you know, the other tariffs against Canada and Mexico go live tomorrow, but those are planned. But, you know, we're looking for South Korea and Japan and China in a rare instance of collaboration to hit the United States with reciprocal tariffs. So we'll see what that looks like. We should be expecting something like that this week. But keep your eyes open because, like, the news about reciprocal tariffs back and forth and all that kind of stuff is the type of news that can shake up the markets. And the communication style of the Trump administration is to say, oh, we're going to do tariffs, but like, you know, maybe not, but like, yeah, we are, but like, you know, we saw a bunch of back and forth, that kind of stuff markets don't like. So keep your eyes open for those things. And yeah, that's it. That's really like the big macro stuff for the week. So keep your eyes open for tariffs news.
Yeah, I expect tomorrow on the show we'll have a lot of questions about it.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, that's it. I gotta go, guys. So have a good day, do good things, be good people, all that stuff.
William Watson, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Will. We will see you a little later.
See you on the Tiki-Talkies.
See you on the Tiki-Talkies. Okay, so it's about that time. We're getting close, but if you've got a last-minute question, a suggestion, a good joke, a word of wisdom, or you want to leave a banger final thought, then this is the time to ponder that, because I'm going to ask you for it in just a couple of minutes. Reminder that this week on the show, we got a lot of cool things coming up. David Walensky, co-founder and head architect of Aptos, yes, that one, is going to join us on Rise Up After Dark tomorrow. We're going to talk to him about his experience working on Deem, the blockchain project at Facebook, Libra, the payment system there, and also what's going on at Aptos, why they build it, how they build it the way they did, all the sausage and how it's made. We're going to have Gerard Baril on the show Thursday. I actually have to ask Gerard if I'm saying his last name correctly, and shout out Gerard. If I'm not, I apologize. He is with Wave Capital, venture capitalist and a fantastic explainer of complex concepts with a lot of experience in the space. Really going to be a helpful just opportunity for people to hear this thing we always talk about, Alex, which is crypto's a venture style investment, and you are not a venture investor.
Well, we are, even if we know that we are. I think that's where the problem. That's why I'm very excited for that one in particular, especially if when we put our investor hats on and listen to people like that talk about it, because I think that oftentimes we approach this kind of stuff, like you just said, not as venture style, when it is almost all venture style. And even the stuff that I would say has like started to depart the category, you're still in like, you know, young startup phase. You're not, you know, maybe you're not pre-revenue, pre-product anymore, but you're like fresh revenue, fresh product, like full size, full spectrum product market fit, still questionable. I'm super stoked. That's gonna be a really good one. If you are, you know, much more interested in the investing side of it, that's one to not miss for sure. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. And so be sure that you're checking that out, and then do come back for the tax class. I'm going to post that today. I'm also working on some improvements to our membership experience. We have a painful, frankly, membership experience, and I want to do some stuff to change it. We all do.
We're working on it.
We've heard you. Expect an update on that later. And then don't forget, we're going to Consensus in Toronto, May 14th through 16th. I know there are some other folks like Joe and our Discord who are planning to go. If you've thought, I'd love to go to a crypto conference, I want to see what the people working in this industry are really like, this is a great opportunity. And you can coordinate with folks in our Discord to figure out the best way to, stay with somebody if somebody's got a place, or the best way to get a ticket cheap. They've got like package deals where if you buy 3 for 1, it's cheaper. And if you've got questions about it, or you just want to know the best place to connect because you can't go, but you want to see the talks or whatever, we have a thread going in the Discord server about Consensus and would love to see you there. We're going to do a Rise Up event there, some kind of meetup. I'm looking at this place, Alex, the name is escaping me, but Joe sent it to me. It's like a multi-purpose. They got food. They've got bowling. They've got like an arcade. Doesn't seem like it'll be too loud to have a conversation, but it also seems like there'll be lots of places to sit or activities to do. And even if people just want to chill, I think that I'm eyeing it. I think we make a plan and stamp it once we start getting dates and times from other folks.
I have to give a quick shout out, unless
quick shout out.
Don't know if you dipped in and dipped right out, but Morgan, newer acquaintance of mine, introduced through Eric. Did we have Eric? Wasn't on the show yet, right? Chainlink Eric, OG.
No,
Chainlink
Eric has not been on the show.
Note to self, bully Eric. He's great. But introduced me to Morgan. He's down here as Coop Dev, building a protocol called Tunnel. Recently started creating content on TikTok, like within the last week. So, yeah, Eric is awesome. I met him at Consensus last year in Austin, and Mac and I were waiting to meet someone, and we were just standing outside the conference hall, and Eric walked up and stopped right in front of us, and he's like, I like the vibe you guys are putting out. What do you do? And Eric is like yoked, huge beard, covered in tattoos. And then we talked and hit it off, and he was a cool guy. And turns out he's like one of the original, 8 employees at Chainlink back in the day. And for the record, got the job because he was active in Discord. And that's how it started.
I am a big fan of this.
Eric is not on TikTok. You can find him on Twitter though.
What's the Twitter handle, man? Come on, we got to hear it.
Let's see.
I'm going to go add him as a friend right now. I've heard you talk about it 3 or 4 times and I haven't done it yet.
It's linked Eric. I'll share it.
Nice.
As it sounds.
Oh, if he looks even a fraction like this is...
That's pretty much him.
Based on your description, that's almost exactly what I pictured.
Yeah, that's pretty much
if I'm
him.
being honest.
Yep.
Very based. Very cool. Okay, I'm excited about friends with cool builders. Let's get him on the show. If you are somebody who wants to be on the show, or you know somebody who should be on the show, let us know that too, because we want to have more conversations with cool people so that you feel like you're right here with us at the ground floor of this movement, building the future. That's what it is. Is Link a good project? Someone wants to know. I don't know, man. I think they are about as solid an example you could find of people with meaningful partnerships, because they provide a service that is necessary for pretty much everybody. They make off-chain and on-chain information speak. And there aren't really a lot of great competitors. They've got such a huge first mover advantage. I think it could be disrupted, but it's not on my chart anytime soon.
Someone could carve off a piece of it and like perfect or deepen like one particular type of data fetching. But I would be interested in, again, I always am interested in talking to an engineer about it who has a deeper understanding than I do. But I mean, who's doing as much? Investment potential aside, I have no clue on the price, no idea. Who knows where it's going to go or what it's going to do. But at its core, it's a company with a product that's being used by a shitload of ideal clients. Which honestly already puts them ahead of pretty much 99.9% of everybody else in the crypto space. They have achieved product market fit in the Web3 industry, and that puts them in a category of like 6. So can't be understated.
Mike said, I couldn't tokenize my house without Chainlink, and my Super Bowl boxes game and March Madness game both were built with Chainlink as the score oracles. So people are using it even in the chat, all around you. All around you.
All right. So Evan, on that note, Gwump and Ding.
Oh my God, it's time for our favorite segment, Dings and Gwumps. You're going to hear us give our high point and our low point, our ding and our gwump for the day. Let us know what your ding is, in the comments. Let us know what your GWUMP is. That's GWUMP. And then we'll get ready to ride our dogs and ponies off into the sunset. So, Alex, do you want to go first? Do you have a little ding for me?
I do have a ding, yes. I don't know if she's still here, but today's ding goes to Jillian. So this is her newest book. She's written several. And I haven't gotten all the way through it yet. It's hefty. It's hefty. It's very interesting. So this is like the intersection of her new interest and then her career and expertise in agricultural law, and then now integrating blockchain, and how the two can fit and how blockchain can be used to enhance land rights.
Hold it up one more time so everybody can see it real close. Agriculture, blockchain, and crypto. And yes. Jillian, what's Jillian's handle for people who want to shout out in the comments? Because
you might have seen her as she's property lawyer here on TikTok, and I have to say, just cool little moment. There's me in the dedication.
Whoa!
And I got to do an interview for it. So there's a couple pages midway through that have some thoughts and quotes for me. I got to fill out some questions for her as she was writing it, and that's super cool. I wasn't expecting to see that on the opening.
That's amazing. That frankly deserves applause. I know it's not like her first book or anything, but the fact that it's not her first book, and the fact that she's just so committed to being prolifically helpful as an educator, I'm excited to get her on the show sometime, because she's absolutely, as we're talking about, like tokenizing ownership, novel vehicles to empower people, I think is somebody who has a really expert voice in that conversation. So
she's going to be in Consensus. So we will see her in Toronto, which is very exciting. And yeah, I think it would be great to get her on and do a conversation about specifically protecting land autonomy and land rights and ownership using blockchain, how she imagines that could happen. That's the conversation I want to have for sure. I will put the link to where you can buy her book. Let me pull it up actually really quick, and I'll show you.
Yeah,
guys.
Please do, because let's share it in the Discord. That would be fantastic. Lots of congrats all around. And then while Alex does that, I'll go ahead and tell you my ding. My ding is, I've got two dings. The first ding is there's an unhinged conversation happening in the chat on TikTok right now about Music Man said, I am going to tokenize my dogs so anyone can take them for a walk. And then someone else said, but have you 100x leverage longed your dogs yet? I think that's hilarious. And my other ding is, today is my first official day. I'm going to make a significant concerted effort to quit smoking again. And yesterday was actually my first day smoke-free. I've been prepping with this app, Smoke-Free. I've been telling people so they can keep me accountable. And I had some cravings yesterday, but it's fine. It's not so bad, but committing to do it and deciding to do it and having lots of reasons to do it and lots of outs and stuff. I'm really, really over it. I've decided, a while ago. I've set the date. April Fool's Day was not intentional, but I think it's fitting. And, questions, suggestions, good jokes, words of wisdom, tips, tricks, all those things are certainly welcome. I've got the toothpicks, I've got the cinnamon gum, and I've got the finger on the buy Bitcoin instead of a pack of cigarettes button ready to go. And would appreciate your thoughts. So, I see you've got agriculture, blockchain, and cryptocurrency. This is on lulu.com. Are you going to share this link in the Discord?
Just did. Yep. It's in the lounge and in general.
Man, the ABCs of blockchain, financial history, and ways property owners can make money in the new financial sector. Way to go, Jillian.
Yeah, super, super cool. She's also been heavily involved in the nonprofit space in terms of land ownership and all that good stuff for a very long time, which would be another great one to hear her discuss and talk about. But Farms is the nonprofit that she's worked with for founder Jillian. If you're floating around, let me know. I can't remember if you. Oh yeah, duh! It's literally right here in front of my Neanderthal face, right on the screen. Founder and director of Farms.
Let's send her the calendar, man. You got to send her. Now that we got that calendar link, we're sleeping on that link, man.
I've spoken to her about it, and I want to finish the book first, and then then we'll get around to talk about it.
Very cool. Congratulations, Jillian. Now it's time for Gwumps. Let me know your Gwumps in the comments. And Alex, would you care to go first, or would you like me to?
You go ahead. I have to narrow mine down.
Listen, first of all, obviously the market is Gwumpy. People are uncertain about tariffs. That's not really my Gwump though. My Gwump, oh man, it's got to be taxes. And like a double Gwump. I have been doing taxes with Coinly for years. I've been doing my own taxes as like a self-employed person for years. I use TurboTax. It is easier than it has ever been, and it is still no less onerous, intimidating. It is no more fun. And, now I'm not going to have cigarettes to turn to. So I really am serious that we will throw up a class. I'll try and have it up sometime today that our premium and premium plus members can pre-register for, and then make it available to everybody else via the Rise Up Morning Show website. So in a couple of clicks, you can get into a room with people like me who don't want to do their taxes, but have done it before and can help walk you through how to make crypto taxes a little better, a little easier, and it'll be more fun because we're doing it with friends. So that's like a Gwump, but it's kind of disguised as a silver lining Gwump. It's got little silver wings, and it might grow into a ding someday.
That's what every Gwump dreams of, evolving into a ding someday.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
We strive to be dings. In a world of Gwumps, strive to be a ding.
That's right. Okay, what about you? What's your Gwump?
Dude, I don't know. I was so excited about my ding today that I didn't narrow down a specific Gwump. I agree with you that the market is Gwump. I think unhelpful government officials are my Gwump today. There's a disturbing lack of conversation around all of the exciting parts of this kind of stuff that I really wish was getting at least a little bit of attention. And I don't expect earth-shattering legislation to be passed already. It's way too early. You probably won't even see any of that kind of stuff hit the floor this year. That would be quick. That I would call that a fast turnaround.
Yeah, me too.
But the fact that conversationally we have, it's really just Hester, as is tradition. It is just Commissioner Peirce being the one having the helpful conversations about this kind of stuff. And so the fact that she is still in a category of one on an island by herself, largely speaking at a policy level about things that we would like to see improved that would genuinely be helpful, big Gwump on behalf of all of the government officials that ran on this kind of stuff that can't even have a conversation about how they're expanding their understanding of it, or what they've learned recently, who they're calling to educate them, or any of that kind of stuff. It's just a big bummer, big sad.
It's a trap. That's for Miltos, and thank you for setting me up perfectly for it, who asked, are there any Star Wars sounds? It's not quite a Gwump, but it might be a trap. Might be a trap. We had Gwumps in the comments, like from Rebecca. Grade 5 teacher Gwumps of the day are tariffs, taxes, and measles in the province. Big time Gwump for the measles. Here in Greece, we have too high taxes in everything, including crypto. Big time. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, except that we're working on making it better. And as it improves, you know that we will tell you about it. If those Gwumps become dings, then we will be here to celebrate with them on the Rise Up Morning Show. So anything we missed, Alex?
I would just end with saying that the beginning of this, I encourage you to, go back and listen to it if you missed. It was very technical. We don't usually get that technical. I would like to do it more often, especially now that I've equipped all of you with how to build the ultimate research assistant in ChatGPT or whatever LLM you prefer. It works with Claude, it works with Perplexity, it works with Gemini. To build it, there are copy and pastable prompts right in there. If you need help setting it up, just ping me in Discord, let me know. I will help you. And the conversation around Pectra is a great one to start off with, because there are 400 gajillion new terms that many of us probably are not super familiar with, that are great to get overviews. There is a template in that prompt guide that helps you set up the request for a simple overview with specific categories of information. What is it? Analogy, technical definition, pros, cons, all that sort of stuff, you know, like other notable tidbits. I think I named a section. So it's mess around with it for real. It will help you level up and get ahead of the overwhelming majority of people reading and learning about this stuff.
Alex, really quick, can we get an Arlo update for Michelle, who I think missed Arlo yesterday? Was it yesterday Arlo was on the stream? No, it was after dark, maybe, when you brought Arlo in to try and get him as a ringer to get you some last minute points. I remember that, man. I'm not going to forget that.
Listen here. All right. As the chairperson of the most rigged game in human history, I don't want to hear anything from you about trying to score easy points. All right. Ding master. He's good.
Digging myself just for that.
I can hear him causing mischief off in the background somewhere.
If you want the Arlo update, check out the replay of the most recent After Dark and just skip to like the last 10 minutes because Arlo is like the star of the end of the show.
Yeah, he's off harassing one of my senior citizens who's trying to sleep. So that's usually what he does all day.
Oh my God, Arlo. Ladies and gentlemen, monsters and machines, people of creatures of all ages, thank you so much. We are so, oh my God. Mike, I'm trying to leave the show and he says, oh my God, Solana commercial actor just came out with another video.
Preemptive Gwump?
Yeah, preemptive Gwump. Absolutely. Not bullish.
Okay, quick.
That's
get out
it
of here.
though. We gotta go. Thank you so much for being the best part of what we do. Make sure you check out the riseupmorningshow.com. That's where the tax sign up is going to be. Check out the Rise Up Discord server. That's where we have everything else, and the only thing missing is you. And we will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Check out the recording on YouTube if you missed us. Check out the podcast. Just search the Rise Up Morning Show on all your favorite platforms, and you will find us there. Beware of scammers. These are our only accounts, and we will never directly message you first. Anything else? We got to fit it in tomorrow. That's it. We got to go. Until next time, my friends, thank you for being the best part of what we do. Stay safe. Be well, everybody.